Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at just another video here to rate on the 10-game NBA main slate on Wednesday. Before I get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. My name is DK. I make daily videos and live stream for NBA and NFL slates on Draftkings. Also make videos for NBA Top Shot, NFL all day. I'm going to have a video up probably tomorrow morning opening up my MGLE rare pack for Top Shot. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure to check out that video. If you're unable to watch these YouTube videos, I do upload on Apple Podcasts. Link is down below. Premium content often on patreon.com, NFL and an NBA package if you want more in-depth content. I would like to thank the sponsor of the first half of this video. That is Roast Umber. Guys, Roast Umber, amazing coffee. You can use my discount code DKDFS for 20% off your order. Check out the website. Again, I will link down below. But they have nitro, they have coffee, decaf coffee, they have different bundles. Again, amazing stuff. So if you guys want to try it out, again, make sure to use my code DKDFS, 20% off. If you are a coffee lover, you got to try Roast Umber and let me know what you do think. And yeah, before we get into players and the prices really quick, I want to thank everyone who came out and checked the live stream last couple of days. We've been averaging about 100, 150 concurrent viewers, so really appreciate all the support, all the guys asking questions. Sorry, I can't talk. And yeah, if you guys do enjoy the YouTube videos, again, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It does help me out a ton. Let's try to aim for 100 likes on this one. Okay, so now let's look back up here from tonight. Okay, so 10 games, let's do it. Milwaukee and Cleveland's the first one here. We have Giannis Antetokounmpo, 11.8K. He is probable. Cleveland's actually been a pretty solid team defensively, but Giannis is basically matchup proof, so I think he's a solid option at the top. As far as the secondary plays go in Middleton, Drew Holiday, neither price point really stands out to me. I think Portis is decent because this is a big Cleveland front court. We're probably going to get around 30 minutes from him. Production's been a little bit up and down, but I think he still has some upside even at that price. Value, not much it stands out to me with Giannis playing. Like Connaughton, DiVincenzo are playable at 4-1 and 4K, but I don't know if we're going to have to go there. On the Cleveland side, so Darius Garland at 9.4, again, he's been having a great year. He's going to play huge minutes. The price point is definitely up there. I don't think he's at an amazing price, but it doesn't make him out of play. Like, he can still go for 50 plus fantasy points. So I think he's in play for me for tournaments. As far as the biggest go, keep an eye on Jared Allen news. He is currently questionable. If he cannot go, going to give a boost to these other bigs. So last game, they dusted off Ed Davis and started him at the 5. Only played 17 minutes, but wasn't some massive, like a hair. He wasn't like some massive foul trouble. If he starts again, sure, you can play a min price Ed Davis. Minutes wise, I don't think he plays a ton. Maybe around 20 minutes. Evan Mobley, again, at 8.1. The price doesn't really stand out. Like, yeah, I'll have to do a little bit more offensively, but I think he's more of a secondary play for me. Kevin Love had the massive game last game. Now, the minutes didn't really increase by much. He played 24 minutes instead of about 20 to 21. So I think Kevin Love's still a decent option here. Might be a little bit over-owned, though, after last game. If we only get 24 minutes again from him, I don't know if he's going to be a must. Like, I like Kevin Love, but again, based on the last game, he might be a little bit over-owned. I did expect more minutes. I thought we were getting close to that 30-minute mark for Love. We only got 24 last game. So, yeah, he was super productive in that game, but we can't expect him to average, like 2 fantasy points per minute like he did last game, right? As far as the value goes, Okoro, 4K, I mean, he'll probably play over 30 minutes. Again, it's playable value, like, not a good point per minute guy. The Cavs, I was talking about this in the live stream, but whenever they have a big out, no, they don't go to the backup big. They love dusting off Dean Wade. It's just like a must, right? If any Cleveland big is out, Dean Wade inserted in the starting lineup. He came out and played 35 minutes. Now, Dean Wade is not a good point per minute guy, but if he starts again, then sure, he's in play. And you're never going to get excited about it, but the good thing is we saw 35 minutes from him. And then I also think Rajon Rondo is not a bad value here at the flat man price. His first game back, he played 18 minutes. We know Rondo is a floor general, a guy that is a stat sheet stuffer. And if we're getting close to 20 minutes, I should say, from him at min price, I think he makes for a pretty good value play. Charlotte and Indiana. So Charlotte Hornets, this team, it's always so hard to predict who's going to have the really big game for them. But we do have to talk about Gordon Hayward. So Gordon Hayward missed the game today. We'll see if he's going to be out again tomorrow. If he's out, they're most likely going to start Cody Martin, who I think would be a pretty safe value. He played 37 minutes last game. So Martin would be a relatively safe value for the minutes, right? He hasn't been super productive in the 2 games he's been in the starting lineup. But I do think the minutes will be there. Now, the 2 guards, LaMelo and Rozier, I think have the most upside. I think we probably in a competitive game get mid-30s minutes. So, 8.1 does feel a little bit underpriced for LaMelo. I know it's been kind of quiet of late. Rozier's had a couple of down games as well. But these 2, they can go for 50+. So, I like both the Charlotte guards here in tournaments. I think you can make the argument for LaMelo in cash games. But the Hornets are just... there's just games where they bench LaMelo, right? It's happened multiple times. So, you always got to factor that in, that there's just random games where they really limit LaMelo Ball's minutes. But yeah, Miles Bridges 8-2. Again, if Gordon Hayward misses, I assume we get 35+ minutes, which makes him a fair play. Oubre probably gets a little bit more run off the bench at 5-4. He's in play for GPPs. You had PJ Washington who got ejected. There's 10 ejections today. Of course, I landed on one with Porzingis. But that's just I'm trying to think. I think I've now had in the last week 4 or 5 ejections in 7 through 7 slates, something like that. I think it might be 4 ejections the last 7 slates I've had. Yeah, I think it's been. I've had 4 players get ejected in the last week. Can we chill with the ejections, please? Please. But yeah, back to the other Hornets, Mason Plumlee, 4.1. He did play 32 minutes last game. His minutes kind of been up and down. Again, the last game, though, he did get more run because PJ Washington was out. So, if this game is competitive, we could see 25 minutes from him. We could see 20 minutes. So I think he's more of a secondary value option. On the Pacers side, so we really have to keep an eye on the status of Domantas Sabonis. They said a couple games ago that he was out. He's going to miss a few games. So it's been a few games. We'll see if he's going to be available. If he is, I like him at the top. If he's not, then Caris LeVert's going to look really good. He let me down in a big way last game. Had just awful first half. I came out and smashed in the second half. The Hornets are a team I like targeting players against, so LeVert's going to look pretty good there if Sabonis can't go. Duarte at 6'6". My issue is the minutes. We only saw 27 minutes. That's a little bit concerning. Now, Goga Batazde, he was in massive foul trouble all game, only played 22 minutes. If he can stay out of foul trouble, he's going to play over 30 minutes if Sabonis is out. Right? We're only going to go to Goga if Sabonis is out. So, if Sabonis is out and Goga starts, I like him in the mid-range. And then it's kind of just all secondary plays, likes of Holiday and Craig. Yeah, you can take a shot on a Lamb or Stevenson off the bench. Isaiah Jackson will play the backup 5. If you think that Goga gets in foul trouble, sure, you can go to Isaiah Jackson. But I know it was Dwayne Washington had a big game last game. Kind of feels like chasing if you go there. So that's kind of going to wrap it up for the Pacers. Clippers and the Magic. Did I not say in the last video that you can't trust the Clippers? Did you see what happened tonight? They benched a majority of their starters. So it was Reggie, Batum, and Zubac that all started the game and played one shift. Reggie played 16 minutes. I think Batum played 8 minutes, and Zubac played 10 or something, 12. You don't know what's going to happen in the rotation, right? And Marcus Morris also was a late scratch for personal reasons. We'll see if he's going to be available. But assuming the Clippers don't do anything weird and Marcus Morris is out, Reggie Jackson will probably be the highest usage guy. He does have upside, also has a relatively low floor. And then it's just kind of guys you can take shots on, right? So Mann and Kennard both had a really good game tonight. Well, that's just because they got all the minutes, right? And I don't think we can expect the Clippers to full bench most of their starters again tomorrow. So yeah, the likes of Kennard and Mann both had good games today for Valley. I think they're both solid value options. Coffee has been a little bit up and down. You know, they played Isaiah Hartenstein massive minutes just because they benched Zubac. This team is causing me so much pain. It is a good matchup, but it's really kind of all tournament plays. We'll see what they do the starting lineup. Like, Marcus Morris is out and they start Man. Probably somebody you can go to in cash games. Like, this team just tilts me so much. On the Magic side, we have Mo Bamba questionable. Pretty significant news. We'll keep an eye on that. If he cannot go, the Magic can do a couple different things. They could start Carter Jr. at the 5. They could, throw in dust off Robin Lopez. They could throw Mo Wagner in there who's been playing some minutes of late. A lot of ways they could go. So we'll monitor that one. Carter Jr. at the top at 6'8". Does not stand out to me if Mo Bamba plays. Mo Bamba misses. I could see taking a shot on him. They've kind of taken the easy his first couple of games back. But he is a guy that does have some upside. As far as the guards go, Cole Anthony's lost me a lot of money over the last week or so. He has just been awful after a great start to the year. He's relatively cheap. Jalen Suggs back in this offense, though. And Suggs has actually been more aggressive on the offensive end. He's 5.8K. Like, he's been playing better of late. He'll probably be more popular. I think I have interest in both Magic guards, but I don't know if there's one that stands out more than the other to me. Franz Wagner is kind of just a neutral play for me at 5'2". We do have Gary Harris back. We have Terrence Ross back. So we do have some other guards back. So that should mean less minutes for the likes of Suggs and of Cole Anthony. And I mentioned Wagner, right? I mean, he's going to be productive when he's on the court. But the question is, will the minutes be there? Right? If Mo Bamba's out, I could see him playing like 15 to 20 minutes. But also, I could see him getting a DNP tomorrow. And again, I would not be surprised about that. All right, Sacramento and Atlanta. Well, really quick, I would like to thank the sponsor of the second half of this video, guys, and that is Prize Picks. So, Prize Picks, I'm sure you've probably heard of it by now, but it's a player prop site where there's a lot of different ways you can play. You can take over-under on points, rebounds, assists, three-pointers made. You can take over-under on the combination of points, rebounds, assists. You can take over-under on fantasy points. You can, go to NFL. They have first half contests, full game contests. They have PGA, soccer, esports stuff. So if you guys want to give it a try, you can sign up and use my code DKDFS. It is DKDFS, all one word. You get a 100% match up to $100. So basically, if you're a first-time user, you deposit, use my code $100. That is a free $100 to play with on the site. But all right, let's back to Sacramento, Atlanta. So, this Sacramento team also. Terrence Davis get injured, and Tyrese Halliburton started the game 0 of 7. And then they lose by like 80 points. The game was over by the end of the first quarter. It was like 35 to 10 at the end of the first. I'm looking at that. I'm like, okay, off to the late slate I go. But yeah, if De'Aaron Fox is out, I think Halliburton's going to look great, right? He started the game 0 of 7, and it was a blowout last game. So you got to have short-term memory. Throw that game out the window. Who cares what happened tonight? Once again, I think he's going to make for a really, really good play if De'Aaron Fox is out. And then Terrence Davis did not return. So I would be under the assumption that he's not going to play tomorrow. If he can't go, I would assume they start Buddy Hield, who would definitely be in play for GPPs. He's not super cheap, but definitely a guy that does have some upside. Harrison Barnes at 6'3", probably plays big minutes. I think he's a safe play in the mid-range. And then Rashawn Holmes at 4'5", didn't play a ton last game because of the blowout, but I think he makes for a pretty safe value play if he can stay out of foul trouble. And then even like Davion Mitchell. So if there's no Fox and there's no Terrence Davis, this is a game where Davion Mitchell could be pushing for like mid-20s minutes. Did not have a good game in garbage time tonight, but he's still relatively cheap. On the Atlanta side, so Trae Young, I like for GPPs. As far as the bigs go, keep an eye on Capella in the news. Last couple games have been limited him. If there's no limitations for Capella, I think he's a solid tournament play. John Collins always in play for tournaments. The two, basically this full team for Atlanta, the main three guys, unless there's someone that is extremely underpriced or they're on a really small slate, they're always kind of just tournament plays for me. So yeah, like Trae, Capella, and Collins all have upside in a good matchup, but I think they're all just GPP plays. Now we have Hunter, we have Bogdanovic, both questionable. If they cannot go, it should solidify the minutes for the likes of like Herter and Gallinari. We probably would get like mid-30s minutes from Herter, which would make him a safe play. Gallinari would probably push for, 25 plus minutes off the bench. He's been relatively consistent. So those two would look pretty good if Bogdanovic and Hunter are out. So we'll monitor that one. New York and Miami, just an ugly game. Two teams that play slow, two teams that are solid defensively. There's really not much here that I like. RJ Barrett, I'll let others chase. He's been playing really, really well. I'm not paying almost 8K for him against Miami. Randall at 9.5 doesn't stand out. Kemba's minutes been down. They're going to the hot hand. Fournier's either going to go for 8 or he's going to go for 50. There's no in between. Cam Reddish got a DNP last game. We do have both Mitch Robinson and the Wall questionable. If they can't go, then where's Taj Gibson? Then Taj Gibson at 3K is going to make for a good value play. They would probably start and have to play big minutes. So, yeah, keep an eye on the status of the two bigs. Like, that's one play I think I would consider in the Knicks. On the Miami Heat side, not much. I mean, I think Jimmy and Bam are both playable, but the Knicks just play so slow. So it's not a good matchup. But, yeah, Jimmy and Bam at a buy are both secondary plays for me. We do have Tyler Hero back, but his price doesn't stand out. Duncan Robinson has been playing more of late. He played 42 minutes last game. I think he's playable in tournaments. Again, a guy that has to hit shots to get value, and if he doesn't hit his shots, does have a low floor. Denver and Brooklyn. So let me just talk about Nikola Jokic here, okay? I just a quick little presentation here for me and Nikola Jokic. So just scroll back a little bit to right here against OKC. Make him a core play. Floor game. I think was that game he got in foul trouble? But all right, 56. I play him here. I play him here. 50. I play him here against Portland. Great matchup. Blowout. 43. I play him here against the Lakers. Great matchup. Blowout. 57. Finally fade. 72. Fade. 93. Fade. 70. Fade. 62. Fade. 71. Pretty interesting presentation, right? You guys take some notes on that? Like, it's really interesting stuff. But yeah, Nikola Jokic, 12-4. I mean, if this game stays competitive, which it should, he's going to play like mid-30s minutes, and he's just been phenomenal of late. So I have no issue paying the price point for Jokic. Gordon at 6.5. I mean, more of a secondary play for me. Will Barton at 5.7. We'll keep an eye on this. He did not play in the game tonight. If he doesn't play, like Monte Morris is going to have to do a little more offensively at 4.6K. I think he is a pretty solid value if Barton can't go. And then, like, Denver just loves playing these old, dusty players big minutes. Like, Jeff Green probably plays around 30 minutes. Sure, he's a fair value. Again, they just love, like, Austin Rivers. They just love playing minutes. He's probably going to play about 30 minutes. Sure, you can always play Rivers. Like, the likes of, like, Bones Highland and Compazzo, two guys that are actually good, like, point-per-minute guys, haven't really been getting the run. We do have JaMychal Green that is who was active tonight but didn't end up playing. Boogie Cousins at 3K. I mean, he'll play the backup 5. He's probably going to play 12 to 14 minutes. Like, I think he's playable because he'll be productive when he's on the court. So, yeah, but that's it for Denver. On the Brooklyn side, so obviously no KD, no Kyrie since at home. Just keep an eye on this one with Harden. I think there's a chance he could be rested in this game and the Nets just punt it. Because we've seen, like, this year when in a back-to-back situation and, like, they play big minutes that they've been, like, resting, like, one of, like, the big three. So just I think there's a chance that Harden doesn't play tomorrow. But if Harden ends up playing, I don't need to tell you that Harden's a good play, right? You saw what happened tonight. He's just going to do everything for the team. So, yeah, Harden's going to look really, really good. Sure, you guys know why. Just had to take a little deep breath there. All right, so who is ready to get Steve Nash again, right? So, center rotation. Probably going to be a three-headed monster with Aldridge, Claxton, and Day'Ron Sharpe. So, really hard to feel good about any of these guys. Aldridge at 5'3", did play the most last game. He played 20 minutes. Again, all three of these guys are pretty solid point-per-minute guys. But if they're going to run three guys at center, there's no one really stands out. Patty Mills, 4'9". He's the one guy I feel the most secure about his minutes. I think we probably get low 30s minutes from him. I think he's a fair play. Kessler Edwards also probably plays around 30 minutes, but he has not been doing much on the offensive end. And then it's like, yeah, Bembry played 30 minutes tonight, but I would not be shocked if he plays like 15 minutes tomorrow. Blake Griffin got a little bit of run. We saw Bruce Brown back in the rotation. He played 21 minutes. One guy that I'm kind of interested in is James Johnson because he's not a bad point-per-minute guy, but you know, they've shown that there's games where he'll just randomly get a DNP too. So yeah, if you're targeting a secondary value play here for the Nets, all I'm going to say to you is good luck. Toronto and Chicago. So Van Fleet, Barnes, both status up in the air. If I had to guess, I would say neither play since they didn't play tonight. And if that is the case, then there's a lot to like here for Toronto. We're probably going to get Point Siakam, who he had like almost 50 fantasy points in the first half. He didn't do anything in the second half, but yeah, he went absolutely off. If they're both out again, I mean, he's going to play massive minutes. Siakam's going to look good. OG Anunoby's probably going to play around 40 minutes. He's going to look really good. Chris Boucher started slow, but he still played 30 minutes. We know he's a good point per minute guy. Gary Trent Jr. played big minutes. Yeah, he's kind of scoring dependent, but this team needs offense if there's no Van Fleet and no Scotty Barnes. So a lot to like here for Toronto. Even a Chua at 3.8, I think is a fine value. Did only play 25 minutes, but that was against kind of like a small ball Hornets team. This is against a bigger front court against the Bulls, so maybe he gets a little bit more run. We did see some run for Banton, Gotanabe, Champagne, who got ejected, but probably like Malachi Flynn was in the rotation as well. He played 26 minutes, so like if I was going to take a shot on one of the bench guys, it probably would be Flynn, but again, that's assuming Van Fleet and Barnes are out. If Van Fleet and Barnes are in, I don't know if there's one play that stands out to me for Toronto. I think they're like the main guys, like the main six would all be in play for me. But I don't know if one would really stand out. On the Chicago side, so we have Vucevic, probable, Levine. Okay, can we talk about this too? Zach Levine. I'm just so tired of coaches this year, guys. I'm so tired. He was on a minutes limit, guys. And you're thinking, oh, you guys just tilted he played 35 minutes on a minutes limit. Not only that, he went to the locker room and was in the locker room for a while and still played 35 minutes on a minutes limit. I mean, that's not a limit. Like, what are you? Just say he's not on a limit, right? Just say that. Don't lie and say he's on a limit. I think the quote was, oh, he's going to play a little more than 25, but it's just no. No. There's no minutes limit. Just a flat-out lie from Billy Donovan. But yeah, Levine, DeRozan, I think both look decent at their price points at 8.3 and 8.2K respectively. Vucevic feels a little bit pricey, but still viable. Ayo Dosunmu, I still just have no idea what. I mean, this guy, he's either going for 45 or he's going for 10, and there's almost no in between. And we've shown this with the stat line, with the box scores, right? 2 fantasy points in 32 minutes, 48, 13, 44. I'm probably not going to go there. His price is up. We do have DeRozan back, so yeah, but I just thought I'd bring that up. I mean, I just have no idea what to make of that. And then like, the gross value of Chicago, the likes of like Javonte Green and Troy Brown, I guess are playable. But again, last game, there was no DeRozan, so their minutes should go down. Memphis and San Antonio, so this game looks pretty appealing. We have Bane and Clark status up in there, pretty big for this one. We'll start John Moran at the top, who's going to look good either way. He's been playing massive minutes because he played 41 minutes last game in regulation. So Ja's just doing everything for this team, and now he gets the San Antonio Spurs to play very little defense. Triple J, definitely in play for tournaments, but I like him more when he starts at the 5. Steven Adams at 4-5 played over 30 minutes last game. I think he's a pretty safe value play. DeAnthony Melton, when he's not chalk, is going to play big minutes in Smash. When he is chalk, that's when he's going to barely play and let everyone down. Conchar is a fair value at 4K. Zaire Williams as well. Now, if Bane and Clark are both in, then that kind of takes the value guys out of play for me. So like the likes of like Conchar, Williams, Melton would be way riskier if Bane's in. If Clark's in, it's going to be less minutes for Adams and Triple J. So definitely got to keep an eye on the news there for Memphis. On the San Antonio side, it's just a broken record for me. Jonte Murray continues to just play amazing. He went absolutely off against Houston on 50 fantasy points almost in 24 minutes. I mean, yeah, he's going to look really good once again here at the top. Jakob Poeltl also smashed in 21 minutes, went for almost 40 fantasy points. So I think the main two guys look good. Derek White and Keldon Johnson probably play over 30 minutes in a competitive game. They look like fair plays in the mid-range. Even the value, I think, looks interesting. Vassell, Lonnie Walker, McDermott, these are all guys that, yeah, the minutes are kind of up and down to them, but they're all relatively cheap to the point where there's not that much risk if you do go to these guys, right? Because they're cheap enough where they're probably not going to kill you. So I probably wouldn't go to a guy like Primo. He's been out of the rotation. But yeah, the likes of like Vassell, Lonnie, McDermott, I think are all guys we can look to for salary relief. Phoenix and Utah. So Phoenix Suns, well, they have like over half the roster out. We'll start with the two guards and Chris Paul and Devin Booker, who right now are just playing like 40 minutes a game, right? There's like no backup guards. They're running Alfred Payton as the backup point. So like both these guards are going to play massive minutes. I think both are firmly in play. I think Chris Paul a little bit safer, Booker a little more upside. Bridges 5'9", does not stand out to me. Biyombo most likely going to start at the 5. No Gobert. I think he's a pretty safe play in the mid-range. He does have upside. He's been playing really, really well of late. Cameron Johnson at 4'3". I think he looks good for value. He played 38 minutes last game. This team just is very, very thin right now. I really like Cameron Johnson. And I'm pretty high on Jalen Smith, assuming we don't get trolled here, right? Because there's no McGee. There's no DeAndre Ayton, right? So Biyombo should start, but Jalen Smith should play the backup 5. And the way Phoenix runs their center rotations, it's usually pretty close to a 50-50 split. I would guess if Biyombo sees a foul trouble, maybe like a 28-22. But Smith is very, very cheap. And if he does get those backup 5 minutes, I think he's going to look pretty solid. And then like the likes of like Landry Shamet and Alfred Payton will be in the rotation. If you want to take a shot on one of those guys in a large field tournament, you can. But yeah, really, like there's a lot to like here for Phoenix. On the Utah side, so no Gobert, no Mitchell. Clarkson, Conley, Bogdanovich all have upside, but the price points don't really stand out to me. I think the guy that stands out the most is Whiteside. He played 33 minutes last game. Now, didn't do a ton, but we know this is a guy that can put up a big fantasy point game in a short amount of time, right? He's just productive when he's on the court. So I think Whiteside looks pretty good there. And then it's all kind of secondary plays. Like Ingles, O'Neal's back. We have Rudy Gay at 4-4. There's nothing else that really stands out to me. And finally, Dallas and Portland. So this game was a random blowout tonight. But now the Mavs get Portland. Really good matchup. Luka at the top, I think, makes for a really good spend up. I don't know if it'll be that popular on the slate. Porzingis, if he doesn't get ejected, does have upside. Or if he doesn't get in foul trouble. Last game against Memphis, 26 minutes, 41 fantasy points, and fouled out. Lost huge minutes. So the top two guys look good here for Dallas. Now, we do have Tim Hardaway Jr. He has a fractured foot, so he's going to be out for a while. So I don't know if I get to any of the value, but maybe that means more minutes for the likes of like Brunson and Dorian Finney-Smith, who have both fine options at their respective price points. Like maybe we see a little bit more run from Maxi Kleber, I think is playable. Like Reggie Bullock would probably be the guy that gets the biggest minutes bump without Hardaway, like him, or maybe like Josh Green. But I still don't know if I want to go to either of those guys on this slate. And finally, Portland. So again, guys, I have that twinkle in my eye when I talk about Yusuf Nurkic. Remember that. He's been playing really, really well. He was on pace for like 60 plus fantasy points tonight, and then he got in massive foul trouble. So, I like Nurkic a good amount here. If he's going to be matched up against like Kleber or, Dwight Powell, then yeah, I think Nurkic looks really, really solid. Now, the two guards, I still don't know what to make of it. So Simons had a good game tonight. Like, I like both, but I just don't know who stands out more to me, right? CJ had a good game last couple of games, and he had a bad game tonight. So, like, it's a tough one for me with the two guards. I think both are in play, but I don't know who I feel better about for tomorrow. Norman Powell came off the bench, he limited his minutes, so if he's limited again, no interest there. Covington does not stand out. Nasir Little injured his shoulder. Keep an eye on this. Like, maybe there's a chance he doesn't play. If he doesn't, then I'd have a little more interest in like the wings of like Covington, who probably gets more run. But yeah, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up for the video. So again, if you haven't enjoyed the content, just make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Really appreciate all you guys' support. I will be doing YouTube live stream tomorrow, so make sure to check that out, guys, Q&A style. But thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your night, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.